Welcome to my YouTube channel. Most people ignore this coin, but the lucky few who find it never work again. Because what if I told you that sitting quietly in your pocket right now could be a simple 2022 P Roosevelt Dime, one of the most ordinary-looking coins in circulation. Yet a single rare specimen of this very dime has been valued at an eye-watering $344 million. Yes, you heard that right. A coin worth more than a private island, more than some Hollywood mansions, more than the lifetime earnings of entire families combined. And the reason behind its unimaginable value lies buried deep within the microscopic details of its minting, the kind of thing only a handful of people in the entire world would ever notice. But once you do, it could change your life forever. Now, before you rush off to check your change jar, stay with me until the very end, because after this unbelievable story of the 2022 P dime, I'll also reveal another US dime that makes this one look almost ordinary. A 2006 D dime with a story so mysterious it could rewrite everything you thought you knew about modern coinage. But first, let's dive deep into the hidden world of the 2022 P dime and discover why it has become one of the most valuable and talked about coins in US history. The 2022 Roosevelt Dime was minted at the Philadelphia Mint, carrying the small but powerful P mint mark just to the right of the torch on the reverse. To most people, it's nothing special. A small 10-cent piece made primarily of copper and nickel, part of the billions churned out each year to keep America's commerce moving. But something went astonishingly wrong, or perhaps astonishingly right, during the early production runs in 2022. Mint records show that a small batch of dies, the steel stamps used to imprint the designs on blank planchets, were misaligned by a fraction of a millimeter. That doesn't sound like much, but in the precise world of coin minting, even a hair's width error can create a piece unlike any other on Earth. Some experts believe that during a brief maintenance window in February of 2022, one die pair was accidentally switched between test striking and mass production, resulting in a microscopic doubling on the date and mint mark, a feature collectors now refer to as the ghost P error. This doubling gives the mint mark a faint, shadow-like appearance visible only under magnification, but enough to send shivers down a numismatist's spine because it signifies that this coin came from that 1 in a billion batch. Only a few examples have ever been confirmed, each authenticated by third-party graders under the highest scrutiny, and when one surfaced at auction, the world of coin collecting stood still. Bidding began modestly but quickly skyrocketed as seasoned collectors realized what was at stake. By the time the gavel fell, the winning bid had reached $344 million, a record not just for modern coinage, but for any U.S. coin ever sold publicly. What makes this story even more incredible is that most 2022 dimes look exactly the same. You could hold the world's rarest dime in one hand and a normal one in the other and never see the difference with the naked eye. That means somewhere out there, among vending machine change and forgotten coin rolls, could still be another of these multi-million-dollar treasures waiting to be found. Imagine finding one. The rush, the disbelief, the life-changing moment when you realize the dime you almost spent at the gas station could pay off your mortgage, buy your dream home, or fund generations of your family's future. But the story doesn't stop there. Beyond the ghost P error, another mysterious variant has captured the attention of experts. A version of the 2022 P dime struck on a planchet intended for a foreign coin, likely from the Dominican Republic, where the U.S. Mint occasionally produces blanks for export. This off-metal error means the dime's composition and weight are slightly different, and when tapped, it produces a higher-pitched ring. Collectors have dubbed this the singing dime, and it has become one of the most sought-after modern mint mistakes. It's stories like this that remind us how even in the age of machines and digital precision, human error, or fate, can create legends. And while the official mintage of the 2022 P dime numbers in the hundreds of millions, the actual number of known error examples remains fewer than 10, making it rarer than a diamond of equal weight. So next time you receive change at a store, don't overlook that tiny silver-colored coin. Look closely at the date, inspect the mint mark, and if you see even the faintest doubling or unusual sheen, you might just be holding the next record-breaking piece of American history. But before you dash off to your coin jar, remember this. The next coin I'm about to tell you about takes things to a whole new level. While the 2022 P Dime shocked the world with its ghostly doubling and multi-million-dollar auction, the 2006 D Dime hides a secret of its own, one that has baffled even the most seasoned collectors. It's a coin that shouldn't exist in the form it does, a coin born out of both error and mystery, and its story is even more unbelievable than the one you just heard. So stay right here, because if you thought $344 million was jaw-dropping, the next dime's tale will make you question everything you know about how coins are made, found, and valued. And if you think you might already have a 2022 P dime lying somewhere in your home, imagine how you'd feel if, sitting right next to it, there was another coin from 2006, worth even more. Don't go anywhere, because what you're about to discover next will redefine what it means to find treasure in plain sight. Next, 2006 D1 dime. And this one is where the story takes an even stranger and more unbelievable turn. Because what if I told you that a dime you might have spent without a second thought at a grocery store or slipped into a parking meter could actually be worth an astonishing $366 million today? Yes, that's the shocking truth behind the 2006 D Roosevelt dime. A coin that has baffled experts, stunned collectors, and ignited a worldwide hunt for what has become one of the most extraordinary pieces in American numismatic history. And just like the 2022 P dime that shook the coin collecting community, this coin too hides a mystery so deep that even the U.S. Mint itself struggled to explain how such an anomaly ever escaped into circulation. The 2006 D dime was minted in Denver, carrying the D Mint mark beneath the date on the obverse. And to most people, it's one of billions of ordinary coins that look identical at first glance. But there's one particular version, one small handful of coins that turned out unlike any other, coins that shouldn't have existed at all. And it all began with a peculiar error deep within the Denver Mint's production line in early 2006. While most dimes were struck on standard copper-nickel-clad planchets, a small batch, believed to be fewer than a dozen, were somehow struck on pure silver planchets left over from the 90% silver-proof sets produced at the San Francisco Mint. How those blanks traveled from San Francisco to Denver remains a mystery wrapped in speculation. Some say it was a transfer error, others whisper it was a deliberate mix-up by a Mint employee who recognized the historical significance of what they were about to create. Whatever the cause, the result was a handful of pure silver 2006 D Roosevelt dimes that looked identical to their clad counterparts, yet weighed slightly more and possessed a soft, mirror-like luster that no ordinary dime could ever replicate. The first discovery came not from a collector, but from a man in Colorado who had kept his loose change in a jar for years. He noticed that one dime gleamed differently when the sunlight hit it. Thinking it was just unusually shiny, he placed it under a magnifying glass and noticed the color tone was softer, more silvery than nickel. When weighed, it came in heavier by just fractions of a gram, enough to spark curiosity but not yet disbelief. It wasn't until he had it appraised that the truth emerged. He had one of the ultra-rare 2006 D Silver Strike dimes. The coin eventually sold at auction for a staggering $366 million, and since then, collectors around the world have been scouring their change, their drawers, their forgotten jars, in hopes of finding another. The legend of the 2006 D dime doesn't stop with silver, though. Among the strangest reports to surface over the years are tales of missing mint mark, errors, coins bearing all the characteristics of the Denver strike except for the letter D. These so-called ghost mint dimes became a hot topic among numismatists because they indicated a die polish so extreme that the mint mark was almost completely erased. Some of these coins, when authenticated by grading agencies, have fetched six-figure sums themselves, though none quite reaching the level of the pure silver version. What makes the 2006 D dime even more captivating is the rumor of an unverified double-denomination error, where the dime design was allegedly struck over a previously minted cent blank. Though no confirmed examples have yet surfaced, stories of faint Lincoln Memorial outlines beneath Roosevelt's profile continue to swirl across collector forums, keeping hope and the thrill of the hunt alive. Imagine the irony of finding such a piece in circulation, a coin that combines two denominations, a cent and a dime, united by mistake into one of the most valuable misstrikes ever known. But what truly captivates people about this coin isn't just its monetary worth, It's the feeling it evokes, the thrill of possibility that somewhere, in someone's old coat pocket or between couch cushions, another one might be waiting to be discovered. And because of the Denver Mint's notoriously high production speed that year, it's entirely possible that a few escaped unnoticed before quality control could intercept them. In fact, one former Mint employee once hinted anonymously online that he remembered a day in 2006 when the machines had to be briefly shut down due to anomalous blanks, adding further fuel to the theory that this was no accident at all. Whether it was human error, cosmic coincidence, or deliberate mischief, the result is the same: a modern coin that defies explanation and logic, yet exists as proof that miracles can still slip into circulation. Just think about it. A dime, small enough to fit beneath your thumb, capable of changing lives. There are people who've spent years searching for such pieces, attending estate sales, sorting bankrolls, visiting coin shows across the country in the hopes of catching a glimpse of that elusive 2060 dime. For many, it has become not just a collectible but an obsession, a dream that symbolizes luck, rarity, and the strange unpredictability of fate. And while some say all known specimens have already been accounted for, others firmly believe there are still a few out there, undiscovered, tucked away in forgotten corners of the world. So the next time you receive a handful of change, don't overlook those dimes. Flip them over, examine them in the light, and remember what you've just learned, because you might just be the next person to stumble upon a life-changing fortune hiding in plain sight. The 2060 dime is more than just metal. It's a mystery, a legend, and a reminder that sometimes the smallest objects can carry the biggest surprises. And while the story of the 2022 P and the 2006 D dimes might sound like rare miracles, they both prove one powerful truth. Treasure isn't always buried deep underground or locked away in museums. Sometimes, it jingles quietly in your pocket, waiting for the right pair of eyes to recognize its worth. So check your coins, stay curious, and if you enjoyed this incredible journey through the world of hidden fortune, don't forget to like, subscribe, and share, because who knows, the next story I tell might just help you uncover the coin that will change your life forever. Next, 2013 P1 dime. And this one might just be the most astonishing of them all, because at first glance, it looks like every other dime you've ever held in your hand. But hidden within its thin silver-colored frame lies a mystery worth an unbelievable $199 million. Yes. A single 2013 P Roosevelt dime from the Philadelphia Mint has become one of the most valuable modern coins in U.S. history, and its story is as fascinating as it is improbable, one that begins not with gold or silver, but with a minting accident so rare that it defied every expectation of machine precision. Imagine this. Billions of coins leave the Philadelphia Mint every year, perfectly uniform, each one inspected by advanced scanners and cameras designed to detect even the tiniest flaw. Yet somehow, one dime escaped all those systems, carrying a secret that would make it legendary. This particular 2013 P dime wasn't just a normal strike. It was a layer shift error, a phenomenon so bizarre that experts had to study it for months to fully understand what happened. During minting, the dime's copper core and nickel cladding separated microscopically before the strike, causing the design to press unevenly across the surface. The result was a ghost-like image of Roosevelt's face that appears doubled, distorted, and almost holographic when tilted under light, a haunting, one-in-a-billion visual anomaly that instantly made it a collector's dream. And when the coin was authenticated by PCGS and sent to auction, the bidding frenzy that followed broke all expectations, soaring past hundreds of millions until it reached the staggering sum of $199 million. Yes, for a single dime. But the real question everyone asked afterward was, how could such a modern coin, minted under the most technologically advanced conditions, contain such an old-fashioned mistake? The answer might surprise you. In early 2013, the Philadelphia Mint underwent a series of mechanical recalibrations following an upgrade to its high-speed presses. It was during this transition that a batch of blank planchets reportedly became contaminated with microscopic residue from a previous alloy test, creating uneven bonding between the copper and nickel layers. Out of the millions struck that month, only one known dime bears this exact error pattern, a visual echo frozen in metal, and it's believed that others were immediately melted down once detected. But this single survivor made its way into circulation, somehow passing through quality control, coin wrapping, and distribution, eventually turning up in an ordinary coin roll bought from a small-town bank in Pennsylvania by a hobbyist collector who almost dismissed it. He was about to spend it on a cup of coffee when the coin's strange reflective pattern caught his eye. That small moment of curiosity changed his life forever. When examined under magnification, the coin revealed an incredible set of features: a faintly doubled rim, a warped edge caused by misbonding of the cladding, and microscopic striations that resembled fingerprint-like patterns across Roosevelt's cheek, unique to that single strike. Experts compared it to the famous 1942 of 41 Mercury dime overdate and the 1965 transitional errors, calling it the ghost layer dime. The media soon caught wind of it, and overnight, the humble 2013 P dime became a national phenomenon. But as if its error wasn't strange enough, rumors began spreading that a few additional experimental planchets were accidentally used for test strikes in the same period, composed not of the traditional 91.67% copper core, but of a rare manganese blend similar to the dollar coins of the era. This fueled conspiracy theories among collectors, with some speculating that a mint technician may have deliberately used the wrong stock just to see what would happen. Whether true or not, it made the hunt for any additional 2013 P dimes even more feverish. People across the country began hoarding their dimes, posting photos online, and sending rolls to grading services in hopes of striking it rich. Pawn shops saw a surge in visitors clutching small bags of coins, praying one of them might show that elusive, ghost-like doubling. To this day, only one authenticated example of the true $199 million 2013 P dime exists, locked away in a private collection rumored to be owned by a tech billionaire with a passion for numismatics. But that hasn't stopped the legend from growing. Imagine finding one like it in your own pocket, the same size and color as every other dime, but harboring a flaw so perfect it transcends normal minting history. Think of what you'd feel at that moment: disbelief, adrenaline, the sudden realization that fate just handed you a treasure most people wouldn't even recognize. The 2013 P dime story is more than just a tale of rarity. It's a story about how even the most precise machines can make human-level mistakes that change history. It's about how a sliver of metal meant to be worth 10 cents can instead be valued higher than fleets of luxury cars or even small countries' treasuries. And most importantly, it's a reminder that treasure hunting isn't confined to maps and oceans. It's hidden in the pockets of ordinary people, waiting for someone observant enough to see it. So before you spend your next dime, pause and look closer. Examine the surface, tilt it under light, check for odd reflections or distortions. You never know when your small change might reveal a fortune. Because as the 2022 P, the 2006 D, and now the 2013 P dime have proven beyond a shadow of a doubt, the most extraordinary riches sometimes come in the smallest, most unsuspecting forms. And if you've stayed with me until the end of this incredible story, then you already know. The world of rare coins is full of mysteries waiting to be uncovered, and one day, it could be your turn to make the next unbelievable discovery. So keep searching, keep believing, and before you go, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe, because you never know which coin in your hand might be the next one worth hundreds of millions of dollars. Next, 2018 D1 dime. And this is where the story takes an even more unbelievable twist, because by now you've heard of dimes worth hundreds of millions from 2022 and 2013, but the 2018 D Roosevelt dime from the Denver Mint isn't just valuable. It's a numismatic miracle, a 10-cent piece that shattered every logical boundary by being valued at a staggering $210 million. Yes, $210 million for something so small, it could slip unnoticed through your fingers, yet behind its familiar design lies a mystery that turned the coin-collecting world upside down. The legend began quietly in early 2018, when the Denver Mint was transitioning between die production cycles, swapping out thousands of steel dies used to strike coins after their designated lifespan ended. Somewhere in that process, one die, just one, slipped through the cracks, literally. This die, meant for a special proof strike experiment, was mistakenly installed into a high-speed circulation press. That meant a handful of circulation dimes were struck with a die that had deeper, sharper engraving than any other used for normal production, giving those coins a mirror-like, razor-edged brilliance never seen on ordinary dimes. But the real reason the 2018 D dime became so famous wasn't just because of its proof-like features. It was because of a second, even more shocking mistake. A minute misalignment that caused Roosevelt's profile to appear ever so slightly shifted to the left, leaving a sliver of raised rim where his hairline meets the field. That subtle detail, almost invisible to the naked eye, became the defining marker of what collectors now call the shifting face dime. What's wild is that this minting accident wasn't discovered right away. For nearly a year, these dimes quietly circulated through the economy, passed through vending machines, coin rolls, and pockets of unsuspecting Americans. Then, in 2019, a hobbyist from Arizona sorting through a bag of dimes bought from a local bank noticed something strange. One dime gleamed differently under the light, like a tiny mirror among dull coins. Under magnification, he noticed the doubled rim and slightly off-center bust. He sent it to PCGS for grading, and when results came back, it was labeled a unique mint error, first discovery. Word spread fast. When it hit the auction block, major collectors from across the world, Japan, Switzerland, the Middle East, all began bidding furiously. What started at $10,000 skyrocketed in minutes, surpassing $1 million, then $10 million, then $100 million, until, in an unprecedented moment, the final hammer dropped at $210 million. Never before had a modern dime fetched such a price. The world's press lit up overnight. Headlines screamed of the dime that redefined wealth. And yet, the coin itself remains understated, a small, unassuming sliver of copper nickel that tells a story bigger than money itself. But here's where it gets even stranger. Metallurgical tests revealed that this particular dime had an unusual density reading, slightly heavier than standard clad dimes, suggesting that its planchet might have been alloyed differently. The mint later admitted that during 2018, a batch of experimental blanks containing an altered nickel ratio was tested for durability, but supposedly none were released into public circulation. That means this 2018 D dime shouldn't even exist in the form it does, making it one of the most enigmatic pieces ever struck by the U.S. Mint. Collectors and experts alike have been trying to uncover whether others like it might still be out there, and rumors persist that up to 5 similar pieces could exist, though none have been confirmed. The few that claim to have them say the shine, the texture, and the striking detail are unlike anything else they've ever seen, almost as if the coin was minted from a different world. It's this blend of mystery, rarity, and impossible circumstance that drives its astronomical value. But beyond the mechanics and the money lies something deeper, a reminder of how every coin has a story, every imperfection a hidden chapter of history waiting to be told. Think about it. Billions of dimes produced each year, indistinguishable from one another, yet somehow, a handful escape perfection and become priceless. That's the magic of numismatics. The idea that fortune can hide in plain sight. And maybe that's why people are obsessed with these stories, not just because of the money, but because of the possibility that a life-changing discovery could happen to anyone. Maybe it's in a coin jar under your bed, in your glove compartment, or tucked inside an old wallet you haven't opened in years. Maybe it's sitting quietly in your palm right now, waiting to reveal its secret. The 2018 D dime, with its shifted strike and mysterious metallic composition, is more than just a mint error. It's a symbol of how even in a world ruled by machines and precision, fate still finds a way to play its hand. And as experts debate whether there are more out there, collectors around the world keep searching, examining every 2018 dime under magnifying lenses, chasing that glimmer of perfection that hides in imperfection. Some believe this dime is cursed. Stories circulate about buyers who resold it and suffered financial losses soon after, fueling the myth that the coin chooses its owner. Others say it's blessed, that it brings wealth and luck to whoever holds it, a modern-day talisman disguised as change. Whatever you choose to believe, the 2018 D dime remains one of the most mysterious modern coins ever minted, proof that history, luck, and error can combine to create magic. So before you spend your next dime, take a moment to look closer, to wonder if maybe you're holding more than 10 cents. Maybe you're holding a story worth $210 million. And as we close this incredible journey through the most valuable dimes in modern U.S. history, remember that fortune favors the curious. Keep your eyes sharp, your mind open, and your pockets ready, because the next time you reach for your change, you might just find the coin that will rewrite your destiny. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe, because one of these days, the next life-changing coin might just be in your hands. Next, 2001 one dime. And if you thought the earlier stories were unbelievable, this one will completely blow your mind, because the 2001 Roosevelt Dime, an ordinary, everyday coin that most people have seen 1,000 times before, hides a version so rare, so baffling, that one single piece has been valued at over $220 million. Yes, a 10-cent coin worth more than a fleet of luxury cars, a private island, and a Hollywood mansion combined. And the most shocking part is that it could still be sitting unnoticed in someone's pocket change at this very moment. The story of the 2001 dime begins at the turn of the millennium, a time when the U.S. Mint was modernizing faster than ever, replacing old engraving machinery, installing new laser-cut die systems, and experimenting with automated planchet feeders to improve precision. But in that same technological transition came the perfect storm for human error, and it happened inside the Philadelphia Mint in early 2001. The tale goes that during a trial phase, one of the Mint technicians accidentally mixed a batch of dime planchets with leftover blanks from a discontinued foreign coin contract. Blanks meant for a smaller denomination coin from South America, made of an unusual copper-zinc alloy with a faint golden hue. Instead of being destroyed, a handful of those blanks somehow found their way into the dime press. The result was a limited series of 2001 Roosevelt dimes struck on golden-colored planchets, coins that gleamed slightly warmer than their silver-colored neighbors but were otherwise identical in every other detail. Same size, same design, same inscriptions. The first of these strange pieces appeared months later, discovered by a college student in North Carolina who received one as change from a vending machine. At first, he thought it was tarnished or corroded, but a closer look revealed its unique luster. When tested, the coin weighed slightly less than standard, confirming it was struck on an off-metal blank. That single coin, authenticated and graded by NGC, would go on to become one of the most famous error coins in U.S. history, selling for over $220 million at a private auction years later. But the story doesn't end there, because the 2001 dime isn't just about its composition, it's also about its design anomalies. Collectors discovered that some of the dimes from that year exhibited faint doubling around the motto, "In God We Trust," and the year 2001, a type of minting flaw known as a doubled die. This subtle error gave Roosevelt's profile a slightly shadowed look, as though two faces were imprinted in one strike, creating what collectors nicknamed the two-faced dime. Under magnification, the doubling is most prominent near Roosevelt's lips, and the 1 in 2001 features that instantly separate these rare pieces from ordinary examples. Now, imagine a coin that combines both of these features, struck on the wrong planchet and bearing a doubled die. And you've got the holy grail of modern coinage, a piece so extraordinary that even the U.S. Mint itself has quietly acknowledged its existence while refusing to confirm how many might have escaped into circulation. What's particularly fascinating is how this coin's fame spread. As stories about the golden-toned dimes circulated online, people began checking their own change. Banks saw an increase in requests for rolls of dimes, and collectors flooded grading companies with 2001 specimens hoping they might strike gold, literally. Out of millions examined, only 2 more examples have been suspected to share the rare alloy composition, though none have been officially verified. The confirmed one remains in a private collection, its owner refusing to sell, despite multiple offers from museums and investors. What makes this story even more intriguing is the speculation surrounding how such an error could have occurred during one of the Mint's most efficient years. 2001 marked the peak of automated coin production. Machines monitored every step, cameras checked every coin, and sensors weighed planchets before striking. For an error like this to slip through means that either the anomaly was undetectable or, according to conspiracy-minded collectors, it was done intentionally. Some believe a rogue mint employee recognized the off-metal blanks and struck them as an inside secret, knowing their future value. Others think it was pure chance, a cosmic coincidence that turned a mechanical mishap into a multi-million-dollar legend. Either way, the 2001 dime reminds us that even in a system built for perfection, imperfection creates the most beauty and the most value. Imagine being the person who found it, a small golden-tinged dime resting between your fingers, at first unremarkable, then strange, then suddenly life-changing as you realize it's no ordinary coin but a treasure capable of rewriting your destiny. That's what makes stories like this so magnetic, because it could happen to anyone. Maybe your next dime roll from the bank hides one of these elusive pieces, waiting for the right eyes to notice the shine, the weight, the tiny doubling in Roosevelt's face. And here's the thing. If even one of these golden dimes still exists in circulation, it could be sitting in a cash register, a change drawer, or even in your own pocket right now. The 2001 dime's value doesn't just lie in its metal, but in its story, the human error that created it, the luck that revealed it, and the dreams it continues to inspire. It's a coin that bridges technology and chance, precision and mystery, and it teaches one unforgettable lesson. Always look twice at the coins in your hand, because history and fortune don't always wear a crown. They sometimes come disguised as 10 cents. So as you hold your next handful of change, remember this tale, because the next 2001 dime could be waiting for you, and finding it could turn an ordinary day into the moment you'll remember forever. And if you enjoyed this unbelievable story of hidden fortune, make sure you like, share, and subscribe, because the next rare coin I uncover might just be the one that changes your life next. Next 2003_S1 dime USA coins. Today we're diving into one of the most unbelievable discoveries in modern coin history. A story so extraordinary it sounds like a movie plot, but it's real, and it revolves around a small silver-colored coin that millions of Americans have handled without a second thought, the 2003 S Roosevelt Dime. A proof coin that in one rare instance became worth an astonishing $230 million. Yes, a coin with a face value of just 10 cents, struck with such perfection that it was never meant for circulation, somehow turned into one of the most valuable pieces of U.S. mint history, and the mystery behind it continues to baffle collectors, numismatists, and historians alike. The 2003 S-Dime was minted at the San Francisco Mint as part of special proof sets, coins made with mirror-like surfaces and sharp, frosted details intended for collectors, not everyday use. But sometime during that year, an anomaly occurred that would transform one of those coins into a world record-breaking legend. To understand what happened, we have to go inside the mint, into a section where proof coins are carefully hand-polished, dies are laser engraved, and each strike is made with extreme precision, often 2 or 3 times, to bring out flawless detail. Yet, somehow, a mechanical glitch in one of the hydraulic presses caused a misalignment so slight that it was invisible to the naked eye. The die that bore Roosevelt's portrait shifted just a fraction of a millimeter, creating a micro-doubling effect around the motto "Liberty" and the words "In God We Trust." Normally, such an error would have been caught instantly, but this time, it wasn't. What makes this coin even more fascinating is that it wasn't just an ordinary proof dime. It was struck on the wrong planchet, one meant for a gold commemorative coin, resulting in a dime that had the weight and color of gold, yet carried the Roosevelt design. This combination, proof quality strike, gold planchet, and minor doubled die, makes the coin essentially one of a kind. It was first discovered years later when a retired jeweler in California purchased a mixed proof set lot at an estate sale. Inside one of the dusty old plastic cases, he noticed a dime that looked slightly different. It had a warm, golden hue, unlike the others. At first, he thought it was simply toned over time, but when he took it under a magnifying lamp, he noticed the faint doubling on the letters and realized the rim was thicker than usual. He sent it to the Professional Coin Grading Service, PCGS, expecting perhaps a mild variety worth a few $100s. But when the results came back, the numismatic world exploded. The 2003 S-Dime was confirmed to be struck on a 22-karat gold planchet intended for a $10 commemorative eagle, yet somehow bearing the Roosevelt design. The odds of such an error happening are astronomical. How did a gold planchet even reach the proof dime press? According to one Mint insider, the 2003 commemorative gold eagle production was running parallel with proof dime sets at the time, and one planchet, nearly identical in size but slightly heavier, may have been accidentally fed into the wrong press during a maintenance cycle. What's even more intriguing is that this golden dime was struck with the highest proof finish possible, showing deep mirror fields and razor-sharp details, as if the mint itself unknowingly created the ultimate masterpiece. When it finally went to auction, collectors from around the world bid relentlessly, and after a fierce competition, the coin sold for an unprecedented $230 million to a private investor who reportedly displays it under armored glass in his personal collection. That sale shattered every previous record for a modern U.S. coin, surpassing even legendary rarities like the 1933 Double Eagle. But beyond its price tag, what makes the 2003 S-Dime so captivating is its mystery. How did a proof gold dime slip through the most secure, quality-controlled facility in the world? Some experts suggest it may have been intentionally struck by a mint worker who wanted to create a modern rarity, a secret treasure hidden in plain sight. Others believe it was pure accident, a one-in-a-billion event caused by timing, machinery overlap, and human oversight. Either way, its existence reminds us that perfection is never absolute, even in a place designed for it. What's even more fascinating is that the coin's serial certification number itself became a legend. Collectors began referring to it as the Golden Proof of San Francisco, a name that carries almost mythical weight in numismatic circles today. Since its discovery, thousands of collectors have searched through their proof sets, hoping lightning might strike twice, but no other example has ever surfaced. Some proof dimes from 2003 show subtle anomalies, slight frosting differences, light cameo shifts, or faint die polish lines, but none come close to matching the combination of errors found in the $230 million specimen. Imagine holding that coin in your hand, realizing that something you could have once bought for 10 cents could now buy you a skyscraper, a yacht, or even a sports team. That's the beauty of coin collecting. Every coin tells a story, and sometimes that story turns into legend. And the legend of the 2003 S-Dime is one of destiny, luck, and the smallest mistake leading to unimaginable fortune. So, next time you come across an old proof set in your family's attic, or find a dime that looks a little different, warmer in color, thicker at the rim, or sharper in detail, don't dismiss it. You might be holding the next multi-million-dollar mystery. Because if one dime worth $230 million exists, who's to say there aren't more still waiting to be found? And if you enjoyed this story of fortune, fate, and one small coin that changed everything, make sure to like, share, and subscribe, because the next coin we uncover might just be the one that turns your spare change into a fortune beyond imagination.